Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aliens, whatever you may identify as this wonderful, beautiful world, welcome into the Hunter Houston ESG podcast. Now, tonight is a little bit differently because we're going to be talking a lot of wrestling, so that may turn some people off. So I apologize. And we're going to be talking about being sick. My apologies. Uh, so we're going to be talking about those type of things tonight. But let's get down to the nitty gritty first. Shout out to the PlayStation 8 Dead podcast over there. Will Schultz, Sean Powers, James. You guys are awesome, cool. Shout out to the OG killer from the Loot Bros, Resin Sterile, killing it on YouTube with his basically going and buying stuff from randos and reselling it because he's a filthy reseller. So there you go. But I just recently did a trade with him, which I griped about last episode. That he only gave me one controller, which he should have gave me two. But that's nor here or there. And shout out to all you wonderful people who like, share, subscribe to the show. Because when you like, share, and subscribe to the show, I know you hate to hear it because everyone and their mama's former cousins, nephews, roommate, and of course, their long lost friends all say the same exact thing. But the show can't grow and people can't watch it unless you, ladies and gentlemen, aliens, or just random strangers who just happen to come across this because I put WWE Royal Rumble predictions in it, and you're thinking, hey, it's a crazy guy's thing. Uh, Share like the show if you like it. Now, or if you don't like it, go ahead and do it anyway. uh, Sorry, my head's like killing me. Um, and if I'm wearing the head thing today because I'm trying to keep my head warm, I'm not battling any type of well different diseases, I guess. So I'm just bald, not by choice. So there you go. Now, before we get going into wrestling, what am I currently playing? Behind me is WWE, excuse me, not WWE, but Rise of Ronin. Um, I am currently playing WWE 2K25 or 24, whichever one you want to call it. I think it's 24. Yes, 24. 25 will be coming out soon, which there are three different covers, which has Undertaker for the 99.99, for the 120, which would be the Bloodline. That's the whole Bloodline on the cover. And for the normal $70 one, that will just be Roman Reigns on the cover for the system. I do not know if it's going to be a PlayStation 4 one again. I'm assuming there will be. If it makes enough money, put this way, as long as they're still making money hand over fist, they'll continue to make an inferior version. I'll leave it at that. And I'm playing Indiana Jones Circle of whatever it is. I can't think what it's called, and a couple of kid-friendly games. And I've been playing some PlayStation 2 stuff here and there, but just nothing really big this week. Just because the fact is, I've been sick most of the week. My family's been sick, and being sick sucks. When your people are like running 103 or 100 and whatever fever, and they're like, "Oh, it's they're in bed or whatever," and you're trying to help them, but like all you know how to do is like, tell them to eat their vitamins, and you're eating your vitamins, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you don't really, I am not a very good. Put it this way, I I better never ever take care of older people, because I am not very good at that. I just basically say, "What do you need? I will go get it." I'm not like there or empathy or sympathy. I don't really have any. I want everybody to be sorry for feel sorry for me, but that's I guess that's just who I am. Okay, but being sick sucks. Um, it's just nasty. It's bad business. And then like you wash your hands constantly. You use not to give them a shout out, but you use your little Lysol or whatever to spray your room down, spray your stuff down, so forth and so on. But sometimes it doesn't work. So if my voice again is not the same happy voice, people, and then maybe someone may ask, well, why did you do the show? I did the show because basically some people said, hey, we would like your predictions and emails while I was just sitting around. And I was like, okay. And then I threw on the TV in the background just to have Rise of Ronin doing something, which even though I'm not doing anything, it does something. Like there's your cats go out and I've already explained it, but something is happening while I'm not doing nothing. Time constraint things. So there you go. Royal Rumble for this year. Now, I still believe it's going to be on Peacock. I don't know if it's going to be on Netflix. I think it'd be a disaster to be on Netflix because Netflix has too many commercials. Um, my prediction for the Rumble itself for the men's. Um, Look, as much as I would want to, and this is just nor here or there, as much as I would want Punk to win it, I think the greatest thing that could happen is that Roman Reigns, Punk and Cena are fighting, okay? And they're near the ropes. And it's Punk, Cena, and somebody else. Roman Reigns has to basically, or Roman Reigns could also be one of the people who's there. So it's three people fighting, and it's either uh, the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Batu, eliminates all three, which establishes him as a star in WWE. It also makes a big deal that he took out three major players all at once. We all know Cena's not winning it, okay? Unless he's number 30, Cena's not winning it. Um, I think it just makes sense as much as, like I said, I want to see Punk win it and being a whatever. Punk doesn't need a title, and that's the one thing that Punk basically has over everybody else. And it's one thing that Razor Ramon, aka Scott Hall, God rest his soul, had is that some people don't need a title to get over, and Punk's already over, so there's no point in it. Now, him retiring Cena technically would be the best thing they could do. I would love to see that at SummerSlam. Basically, he eliminates Cena or they get eliminated together, but Roman Reigns either has to eliminate those two or he needs to be eliminated by Jacob Fatu to solidify him as a star. And then it's him versus Reigns, and Reigns loses a tough match. No cheating, no whatsoever. Reigns just makes a bad prediction. This is, the next pay per view, excuse me, the live premium event. Do my little hand gesture there. And I think that makes all the sense in the world. Um, are there going to be some people coming back? It might be Aleister Black. It might be Zack Ryder. Might be Nick Nemeth. Now, people don't realize this for those who are just newbies or just normies who may not follow wrestling constantly, is that TNA and WWE, TNA's Total Knockout Wrestling or whatever it is, have a window. They signed a thing where they can exchange talent. So what's not to say that Nick Nemeth, aka, I can't even think of what his name was for WWE. Basically, Dolph Ziggler comes over. A couple other people who are former WWE people come over, or just here and there. Um, so you will see some surprises. Penta will be in there. Now Penta obviously is not going to win it. He'll have a couple of high spots. I think it's silly to put him in the Royal Rumble, especially as hot as he is, and him just coming in. Uh, you know, find a way to not put him in there. But I understand you want to put him in there, let him get some spots against some people. So maybe have him in there early and then have him knocked out by somebody else. Brock Lesnar's not coming back. I'm sorry. He wants way too much money. And he's a Vince McMahon guy, not a Paul Levesque guy. And speaking of Paul Levesque, congratulations to being inducted into the Hall of Fame for being Triple H and not for being the Game, the Cerebral Assassin, and not being a part of DX, which he was originally put in the Hall of Fame. So he's going in there twice, but this time is actually just him by himself, and he'll be the main star. My apologies for those who are not watching me. I had to drink something because I'm drinking like an energy drink, trying to get something going through my veins. I look all bloodshot and whatnot. But So that's going to be awesome. They haven't really announced anybody else for the Hall of Fame, but look, there's a few people we all know are going to go in this time that are no longer with us. So I'm not going to mention that till later on when I'm in a better frame of mind. But Men's Royal Rumble, the winner is probably going to be Reigns or Jacob Fatu. It's not going to be. It's not going to be Drew McIntyre. It's not going to be Yeet. It's definitely going to be Roman. I'm just going to go. I'm not even going out on a limb. It's Roman Reigns that wins it. I'd like to say Jacob Fatu because that would throw a monkey wrench in everybody and solidify him as a star. but who knows if that's really going to happen. Now, moving on to the women's Royal Rumble, there's a legend that a legend will be coming, aka the legend of Trish Stratus, the most beautiful woman, and unfortunately is Canadian. For those who don't know, I have this long bit of basically ragging on Canadians. Sometimes it gets over, and sometimes I think I actually had a few Canadians say, "Man, I'm Canadian, man. I'm tired of you always ragging on us, dude." I'm like, "Okay, eh." No way, you hoser. So that made me feel pretty good that some Canadian actually watched my show. So thank you, Canadians. And hey, at least I recognize Bret Hart as one of the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I mean, you can give me that. But other than that, I mean, and of course, you're beautiful women, but other than that, I don't care about you people. So apparently Trish Stratus will be in the Royal Rumble. She'll probably maybe eliminate one or two people, if that, get kicked out. A couple other legends, maybe Michelle McCool and a few other ladies may make a entrance. I think Lita may enter as well. Um, this is a good time for Becky Lynch to come back. Now, everybody knows that Jordan Grace, former TNA star who now has a WWE contract, will be in the Royal Rumble, allegedly. I hope that she wins. She goes on to face either Tiffany Stratton or to face who is the other women's champion? I can't even think of who that is right now. They're so uninteresting that I can't even think of them. I'll have to think of it later. Oh, no, excuse me, Rhea Ripley, and that would be a good fight because they both have similar styles. But I think it'll be more toward Tiffany Stratton, and she'll beat Stratton straight up, or it'll be like a I would want it to be like one of these really fast matches where it's like 2 minutes of her dominating her, and that way it solidifies her as a star and a powerhouse. Now, a lot of people think it's going to be Charlotte Flair because Charlotte Flair is coming back. Becky Lynch allegedly is coming back, and apparently this is another alleged rumor that AJ Lee, aka CM Punk's wife, might be coming in. Now, if she comes in, she may come in for a hot minute and get automatically eliminated. There's saying that Nikki Bella may come back for some reason. I have no idea why. What's she going to do? Like Botchmania special? But for the Women's Royal Rumble, look, I say Jordan Grace is going to win it. If it's not Jordan Grace, then what? Charlotte? As if Charlotte needs another belt run or another top of the title. Um, was it Becky Lynch just recently had a birthday and she's almost 40, or she is 40? And there's nothing wrong with that because they say in wrestling you don't reach your peak until you hit your 40. In other words, 40s are your prime years of wrestling, where basically you're wrestling from the top. You paid your dues at the bottom or mid card, and so now you're just calling the shots. That's why I always say, "Hey, 40s are your best years as a wrestler." Yeah, if you're on top, if you're on bottom, man, it's like wrestling sucks. Excuse me. Oh, my head's killing me. All right, women's championship match. I believe it's Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton wins. Rhea Ripley, I think, versus Morgan. Uh, I think Rhea Ripley's hurting right now. She has a couple of injuries, so it makes sense to take the belt off her, let her lose, and then let Charlotte Flair or whoever take on Morgan. But if she's hot right now, which she is hot right now because she has Dom or Daddy Dom, and that guy's getting the love heat. Let that continue on, man. That's awesome. For the men's, we got what, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. We know who's winning that. We know Cody's going over. There's no and if or buts. That's not even a thing. Cody's going over. Like, and I don't even think Gunther's doing a championship match because he did the one for Saturday Night Live main event against Jey Uso, and beat him. And it was a good match because every Gunther match is a good match because it's an old school traditional style match. That's why every Gunther match is like, man, I can't. If you hate Gunther's matches, then you don't know nothing about wrestling. It's like the people who hate uh, what's that boxer's name? Um, I can't think of his name. He's a little guy, but he's made millions of dollars. But he wins off points. He doesn't knock anybody out. But his fights are amazing if you love boxing because no boxer's goal is supposed to be to knock you out. It's supposed to be to get the points, survive the round, and beat you on points and frustrate you and possibly knock you out. It's no boxer's goal or strive unless you're just your mind's not there to win. Oh, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Floyd Mayweather's best pound for pound defensive fighter that ever lived because he doesn't have to. The only time he only had a like someone could have got him was Sugar Shane Mosley, where he had that hesitation, and if Sugar Shane would have just basically followed up with that uppercut, and I've said this before on the show, he'd have one loss against Sugar Shane, and that may have changed everything. But because he didn't follow up, he beat Sugar Shane off points, and I think that was also a wake up call for him to not play. Because that's what happened to Roy Jones Jr. You're doing a little chicken dance, doing little things, you're playing with people, and look, people watching the video, they get onto you in like certain things when you rotate your hip or you move regardless of however you train, you still have certain things that you like to do as a human being. It's like, I like to double jab and then pretend to throw a punch and then jab again and then basically throw like a hook. But that's something that I like to do. And it almost always works because people are expecting because I always think that your right hand's your strong hand, which it is technically. But when you train hard, you have like your 10, your 15, 20 pound weights, and you're just you're swinging out. That way you're working on your speed. Um, and also it helps with, the knockout power as well. But, you're swinging out, you're building up that strength, you're building up that speed. And thing is, if you really love boxing, you want to basically be like certain people who just have like a jab that's so strong that it can knock you out and you keep people away. So that way when they come in, and you'll do a different thing if they come in, and you'll treat them differently. But if you keep them away, they're thinking that you're scared, or they're thinking that, oh well, you don't have a good defense, or maybe your body's weak or something like that, or you haven't taken care of yourself and you can't take a punch. No, all you're doing is you're setting them up and giving them a false premise. And that's the great thing about boxing is how many times is there a feint and a feint. But that's nor here or there. I don't know why I could start talking about boxing, but I love boxing. Um, but with the WWE and the Women's Royal Rumble, I say Jordan Grace, Cody Rhodes wins going away. Gunther doesn't need to, defend or whatever. And I think that's the only thing that's going on. Maybe three matches or maybe four, if that. And that's the only thing you need. And it's going to eat up a lot of time. People are saying they're going to do 50 and 50. No, that's going to be next year when they're in Saudi Arabia, the wonderful nation of Saudi Arabia. For those who are in Saudi Arabia listening, um, I would love to come there and do my podcast from there. Because it would be cool. And because you guys love wrestling so much, and to talk to you about wrestling, that would be awesome. And yes, I am a shill. I will take money. uh, excuse me. So that's pretty much your show for WWE. And I think the only thing that could happen if Cody does win, and he doesn't win cleanly, it's because Roman or whoever won the Royal Rumble basically helps him and wants them to have the title. It's like, I'll take that title when I want that title. That's what I think that will happen. Um, and I think that'd be good setup for if it's Punk or if it's Cody. It's not going to be Cena. Cena is basically going to be there for a hot minute. No one's going to hurt Cena. He's currently working on a movie. He was in Budapest, so he's just flying in. He'll probably be there for maybe all of 3 hours, roll out, say hi, shake a couple of hands, and then get the hell out of there. Um, music to listen to. I've said this, and I haven't said this very many times, but if no one's ever listened to the the very best of In Excess, listen to In Excess. Have some really great songs. The songs "Never Tear Us Apart," um, "I Need You Tonight." no, it's not Simply Irresistible. It's like a couple other ones, but the guy was Australian, uh, made some great music. So listen to the best of NXS. They're super awesome, super cool. Shout out to everybody who likes, listens, watch the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, aliens, whatever you identify in this world, thank you so much for listening to me. If you are in your car, your home, you have nothing else better to do. Hey, thank you so much. Please have a safe and wonderful night. Peace. Thank you.